What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well, and if it's not a welcome back, if you are new around here, please consider subscribing. We're currently at 517,000 subscribers at the time of this upload. Let's try and get to 600,000 as quickly as possible. Anyway, today I've got some more Entitled Parent stories for you, so let's jump straight into the first one. Entitled Mum gets mad that she can't spend her holiday at our house like she does every year. I'll keep this short as the subject is the cause of a small childhood trauma for me. My parents have these friends who come over for a week or two every summer because we live close to the beach and they stay at our house rent-free, expenses-free, etc. They bring along their daughter, who is the most entitled brat in existence. She is 16 or 17 and throws a tantrum whenever things don't go her way. And I can't ignore her because she will start screaming or crying if I don't play with her the way she wants. At 16, she still plays dress up, makeup, etc. Now, my parents forced me to do whatever she wants because that is what a nice guest does. I had to give her my personal and favourites, toys, dolls, gadgets, etc. because she wanted them and would cry and throw a fit if I didn't when I was only 8 years old. My parents always promised me they would buy new ones or replace them, but they never did. This year, I begged my parents not to invite them over because it's not safe. At the moment, Romania is the COVID hotspot of Europe. I told them that if they come, they will want to go to the beach, the aqua park, the mall, etc. And we cannot keep them locked in the house. I broke down crying. I've been telling them for 14 years that they are toxic people, that they drain out the energy of me, and I simply cannot stand them. My father finally admitted that the girl in question, their daughter, is truly an entitled and horrible brat, but we have to accept people as they are. Anyway, today my mum got a call from EM, the girl's mother. She was trying to hint to the fact that they wanted to come over, to which my mum pointed out that we will not be home. She didn't want to tell them directly that they are not welcome and was trying to play the card, we are leaving on family holiday. Then the entitled mum got mad. She told my mum that she already had her luggage ready for their trip and that it's unfair. That they always come and spend a few weeks every summer at our home. They consider it a hotel. My mum then asked if they would have come uninvited, to which the woman said yes because it's tradition. My mum told this to my dad and now he got angry. I hope that they will finally realise that friends can be toxic and not care about your feelings. One memory that caused me to hate all this, a strong word I know, was that I used to have a tradition to go with my best friend to her grandma's house for a week during the summer. Her grandmother would invite me, of course. I went for 10 consecutive summers. And then, one year, my parents didn't allow me to go because these people were coming over and they needed someone to babysit their daughter who was 15 at the time. I had to break the most important tradition in my life because they couldn't come a week earlier or later. I know it's a little bit of hypocrisy on my side for that, but why was their tradition more important than mine? And then my parents start telling me that my best friend never makes time for me / doesn't care about me, when they don't let me spend our only real available week/weeks together. Oh yeah, OP, I can totally understand why that must be really hard for you, but let's move on to the most important part of this story. This entitled parent or this entitled family's inability to understand the severity of a global pandemic going on right now that is obviously going to stop your holiday going ahead. Like, I can't believe that they were preparing to come to your house when current restrictions in Romania do not allow you to do that. Like, surely someone cannot be that crazy, right? I mean, first of all, clearly it's really rude to just assume you can go to someone's house, you know, their own personal space without an invite. But secondly, given all that's going on right now, people dying, yeah, just what a horrible thing to do. Now moving on to our second story, entitled mum demands our family wears a mask in our own car at a stoplight. Yeah, you read that right. There are two types of Karens, one who doesn't wear a mask and then this one. So basically, my dad invited our family of 4, mum, dad, brother and me, on a trip to Broadway and the Broadway Tower. We all took our masks just in case we needed to. In the location of Broadway Tower, there is a fenced-off area where deers like to roam around. We wanted to see them, and that was the main point of our trip. So, we were about 3/4 of our way to Broadway and we came to a stop. We noticed a typical Karen in her big grey SUV trying to sign to us to roll down our window. My dad, who was driving, didn't see and kept going. That crazy woman followed us for about 6 minutes to the next stoplight, where she quickly accelerated and tried to cut us off. Now, having the attention of my dad, she rolled down her window yelling some BS. My dad rolled down his and the conversation went as follows. My dad says, "What is your problem?" The entitled mum responds, "Put on your mask." Sorry? Are you blind? Yes, she really said that. I said, put on your mask. You're going to infect my baby. Then her annoying kid said, Mom, close the window. I'm gonna die from corona. We're a family. We don't need to put the mask on, my dad replied. At this point, the light goes green, so we start moving again. At the next red light, she proceeds to get out of her car and continue to demand we put on our masks. And by the way, she wasn't even wearing one. Put on your mask or I'll sue you for killing my child because you're so irresponsible. Then my mum intervenes. Get away from our car. You're only increasing the risk by standing so close. I add, I don't see you wearing a mask, so I don't understand why you're freaking out over this. Cars start honking because she is blocking the road. But this entitled mum says to the cars, F you. My dad rolls up the window and starts to drive away, not before she spits at our car. As a bonus, during all of that, the annoying kid was mocking my dad, throwing the finger at me and showing off his iPhone 6, to which I show my S8. After that, we visited Broadway and the Tower and I got a good photo of the Diz, so that's all that matters to me. Oh, I don't even know whether to laugh or cry at this one, like it's so hypocritical. Maybe if she had her mask on in her car, I could understand her a little bit more. Not that you need to wear a mask in a car, by the way, with your own family, obviously, as anyone knows. But the fact that she wasn't wearing one and then was still telling you guys to wear one, what is wrong with this person, seriously? What a loser. You can also tell that she's drummed it into her child as well, how important corona is, which is great. You know, the kid said, I want to close the windows because of corona, but then she isn't wearing a mask herself and then she comes to interact with you guys. Is that not the opposite of what you're meant to be doing? She walked up to your car and told you to roll the window down. In my opinion, that's pretty irresponsible for someone that cares so much about corona, don't you think? Not to mention the fact also, guys, that she left her kid abandoned in the car and also parked the car, stopping all traffic coming through, potentially causing a car crash. What a crazy woman, guys. That's what I'm going to say about her. Now moving on to our final story of today's video. Anime is for children. I wanted to share this story because it's quite funny, but it still has that entitled vibe to it. I was having a good time with my friends in the park, chatting and overall having a fun time. This is before coronavirus. It was getting pretty late, so I had to go because I don't live next to my friends, so I had to take the bus home. Everything was fine until I got on the bus. Now that I think about it, the typical Karen hair should have alarmed me to sit somewhere away from her, the entitled mum, and her child, EK. I sat next to them. The buses in that area had free Wi-Fi and I wanted to watch some romantic anime, which is not for children, I must say, with my headphones on. Somebody touched me, so I turned my head, and you would never guess who it was, the entitled mum. Hey, what are you watching there? Oh, I'm watching anime. That seems like a cartoon. Ugh, childish. Yeah, whatever. Could you please leave me alone? I was quite annoyed because I have realized what is going on at this point. It is clearly a cartoon, so let my son watch. This is not for children, Mom. It obviously is, you just don't want to share. Then I had an idea, which was kind of bad, but I couldn't stop myself. Smiley face. Sure, why not? Your son can watch it. I hand over the phone with headphones. The entitled mum proceeds to give my phone to her son with my headphones. A few minutes pass and then the entitled kid says, Mum, why are those people hugging so strangely? Let me sit. You can probably guess what was happening in that scene. Evil smile, oh god. The entitled mum quickly takes the phone from her entitled kid's hand and the headphones unplug. And for a second, I seriously thought the socket would break, but it didn't. Phew. You monster! How dare you show things like that to my child? The bus then stops at a random station which is pretty close to my house. I said it wasn't for kids, Karen. I grab my phone and headphones before the entitled mum can respond and get off the bus. It was the worst and at the same time the best moment of my life for now. I told my friends about the story when I came home and we were laughing so hard and they loved it. P.S. The entitled kid wasn't really that entitled. I hope I didn't ruin his life, but I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have understood what was happening in there at his age. I think he was around 3 or 4. Yeah, OP, I wouldn't worry. I'm sure it's okay. I think the main point of this story was the fact that you gave this entitled mum the karma she deserved. Look, I'm not that big into anime, but I know myself that not all cartoons are for children. You know, some of the most famous cartoons of all time, off the top of my head, South Park, Family Guy, Rick and Morty, you know, etc., are loved by adults and elderly teenage people, you know, not by 3 to 4 year olds. So clearly cartoons are not made only for children. I also love the little bit of malicious compliance in this story as well. You knew exactly what was going to happen. You knew what you were watching. But yeah, just to get back at this entitled mum, you thought, you know what, I'll show this 3 to 4 year old a little bit of anime, what some anime can really be like. I love that, OP. I love that a lot. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this episode of Entitled Parents. As I said in the intro, if you are new around here, I would love you to subscribe. You know, we're now closing in on 600,000 subscribers. That is the next big milestone. So if you are new, hit that button, notifications on, and watch some more content from me right away up on the end screen.